Children, today we are going to discuss about inverse, adjoint of matrix and how to use inverse in solving system of equations. Children, we have already studied that inverse is unique and inverse only exists when the matrix is a square matrix. Similarly, adjoint is also exists when the matrix is a square matrix of order 2 or greater than 2. How we calculate the adjoint of any matrix? By finding the cofactor matrix and doing the transpose of the cofactor matrix. So when we do the transpose of cofactor matrix, we'll get the adjoint of matrix. See, these are the cofactors that we have calculated. C11 is the cofactor of first row and first column. C12, C13 is the cofactor of first row, third column. C32 is the cofactor of third row, second column. So when we calculate this cofactor matrix and we do the transpose of that matrix, we'll get the adjoint of that matrix. Right, children? Now see this example. Suppose any matrix A is given 1, 2, 3, 4 and we have to calculate the adjoint of A. Now what we'll do, children, we'll calculate the cofactors of this matrix. This is a square matrix, that means we can calculate the adjoint of this matrix. Okay, suppose we are calculating the cofactor of first row and first column. So this row and this column will get cancelled. What will be left? 4, and this has positive sign, so plus 4. For this first row, second column element, this row and this column will get cancelled. This will be minus 3 because this place has minus sign. We have studied minus 1 to the power I plus j. Right, children? First row, second column, it will be minus 1 to the power 3. Right? For this position, second row, first column, so this row and this column will get cancelled. It will be minus 2. For this, so it will be 1. So when we do the transpose, so this matrix 4 minus 2 minus 3 1 will be the adjoint of the matrix. Right, children? Now we know how to calculate adjoint. Let's study about singular matrix and non-singular matrix. For any matrix A, if the determinant of A is 0, that means that matrix will be a singular matrix. And if the determinant of that matrix is not equal to 0, that means it is non-singular matrix. If the matrix is singular, then inverse will not exist. If a matrix is non-singular, then inverse will exist. Right, children? Please note down. Now, children, there are few theorems which are very helpful in solving sums. Let's see theorem 1. It says that if A is n order square matrix, then A into adjoint A equals to adjoint of A into A equals to determinant of A into identity matrix. Right, children? So we solve this and try to evaluate, try to prove it to this right hand side at determinant of matrix into I. Suppose any matrix represented as A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23 and A31, A32, A33. So the adjoint of this matrix will be the transpose of the cofactor matrix. So when we do the transpose of the cofactor matrix, it will be C11, C12, C13. The first row will become first column, second row, second column, third row, third column. So this will be our cofactor matrix, that means adjoint A, right? When we multiply, both are of 3 by 3 order matrix, children. When we multiply, so how we multiply? First row, first column, second row, second column, third row, third column. And we do that. When we do that, we'll get this A11, C11, A12, C12, A13, C13. Then first row, second column. A11, C21, A12, C22, A13, C23. Remember, children, we have discussed in the properties of determinant properties that if a corresponding cofactors, that will be the expansion of that determinant, that will be the value of that determinant. So this will become the value of determinant A, and if any row or any column of the determinant will multiply with the corresponding cofactors of any other row or any other column, any other row, then that will be 0. This we have already discussed. If you don't remember, then go through the determinant video again. Right, children? So this means that this will be the value of determinant of A. This will be 0, 0 because these are the corresponding cofactors of some other row. And this is the corresponding cofactors of row 3. And this is row 1 terms, right? So children, this will be the determinant A, 0, 0, 0, again determinant A. So you can see that we can take determinant of A common from this matrix, and when we do that, what we'll get? This is a diagonal matrix having 1 1 elements, which is known as identity matrix. So we can easily see that the value of A into adjoint A or adjoint A into A is determinant of A into identity matrix. Note down these. Now a few more theorems, children. Theorem 2 says if A and B are non-singular matrix of same order, then AB and BA are also non-singular matrix of same order. That means the determinant of AB and determinant of BA will not be 0 if either A or B are not singular matrix. That means the value of the determinant of A or B are not equal to 0. Right, children? This property we have already studied. Again, we are going to repeat because we are going to use this in next theorem. That determinant of AB equals to determinant of A into determinant of B. See, children, if you don't remember this property, watch the determinant video and in that see the theory of the properties. Okay, there you'll get the derivation how we got this. Right, children? Now in this next theorem, theorem 4, it is given that determinant of adjoint A equals to A to the power n minus 1 for any non-singular matrix of order n. That means if any non-singular matrix of order n, then the adjoint A will be determinant A to the power n minus 1. Right? Let's see how we have done this. Adjoint A into A, children, we have just proved in first property, first theorem, that it is a matrix in which the diagonal elements are determinant of A. Right, children? Adjoint A into A is a matrix having diagonal elements determinant of A. If we convert this into determinant both sides, what we'll get? Determinant of adjoint A into A equals to determinant mod A 0 0, then determinant of A 0 0, 0, determinant of A 0, again this. Right? You can see that in determinant you can take determinant of A common from row 1, row 2 and row 3. So determinant of A cube will come outside and here you will get identity. Okay, so the value of the determinant of identity matrix is 1. If you expand this determinant by either first row, first column or any row, any column, you always get the value 1. That means this determinant A into adjoint of determinant of adjoint A into determinant of A equals to determinant of A cube. You can cancel determinant of A. What you will get? Determinant of adjoint A equals to determinant A square. Right, children? So from this result, if here we were having third order matrix, the order was 3 by 3. So we can say that we got 3 determinant A to the power 2. That means 3 minus 1. So we can say that determinant of adjoint A equals to determinant A to the power n minus 1 for n order matrix. Note down, please. Now, children, in the next theorem, we will see that if A is a square matrix, then A is invertible if and only if A is non-singular. This is a theorem. That means A is invertible means the inverse of A will exist only and only if and only if A is non-singular. That means when the determinant of A is not equals to 0, then only the inverse of A can exist. Right, children? So what we'll assume? Let A be invertible matrix of order n and identity matrix I of order n. Then we can say that AB equals to BA equals to identity matrix. Right, children? So we can say that AB equals to, when AB equals to identity matrix, then determinant of AB equals to determinant of I, and we know that the determinant of identity matrix is 1, and from the properties of determinant we can say that determinant of AB equals to determinant of A into determinant of B. Right, children? This means the product of two determinant is 1. That means the value of determinant A is not equal to 0. Hence we can say that A is non-singular. Right, children? And in the first theorem we have studied that A into adjoint A equals to adjoint A into A equals to determinant of A into I. Right, children? Now what we'll do, if we divide each term by determinant of A, then what we'll get? A into adjoint A upon determinant of A. Adjoint A upon determinant of A into A equals to, here we'll get I, identity matrix. Right, children? And if we assume that adjoint A upon determinant of A has value B, is any B matrix, then what is written here? AB into BA equals to I. This is what? Only possible when B is the inverse of A. Right, children? We have discussed in the definition of invertible matrix that this condition is only possible when B is the inverse of A. So the value of B will be A inverse, and the formula for calculating A inverse is adjoint of A upon determinant of A. Right, children? Please note down. Now, children, we are going to discuss another theorem which states that if A and B are inversible square matrices of same order, then AB is also inversible and AB to the whole inverse equals to B inverse into A inverse. Right, children? It is given that A, B are inversible matrix. Okay, let's see how we are going to prove this. It is given A and B are inversible square matrix. That means A and B are non-singular matrix. If A and B are in non-singular matrix, then determinant of A is not equal to 0, as well as determinant of B is also not equal to 0. If both the determinant is not equal to 0, then the product of both the determinants is also not equal to 0. And this can be written as determinant of A into determinant of B can be written as determinant of AB. We have studied in properties of determinant. This is equal. Now we can say that determinant of AB is not equal to 0, then AB is a non-singular matrix, and if AB is a non-singular matrix, then AB is, we can say that AB is inversible. That means inverse of AB exists, and let the inverse of AB is any matrix C. Right, children? If the inverse of AB is any matrix C, that means AB matrix into C equals to C into AB matrix equals to identity matrix. This is a theorem we have applied, right? Okay. Now let's see this term AB into C, right? If we equate this AB into C matrix equals to identity matrix and multiplying A inverse from right hand side, from left hand side, so what we'll get? A inverse into ABC equals to A inverse into identity matrix. So you can see that A inverse into A will be identity matrix. A into A inverse into BC equals to A inverse into I. So this will be the identity matrix into BC equals to A inverse, right? Again, we apply B inverse from left hand side, and when you see that the product of B inverse into B is identity matrix into C equals to B inverse into A inverse, and the product of identity matrix to any matrix, children, is always that particular matrix. So identity matrix into C is any C matrix which is equals to B inverse into A inverse. Now we got the value of C as B inverse into A inverse, and we have assumed the value of C as AB to the whole inverse. Now we can see it's when we equate these two values, we can say that AB to the whole inverse equals to B inverse into A inverse. That we are supposed to prove. Okay, children? Please note down. Let's see few sums, children. Here it is given that if the matrix is singular, then find the value of X. We know that the definition of singular matrix, any matrix is singular when the determinant of that matrix is 0, has value 0. So what we'll assume? We assume this matrix has A, and we say that the determinant of A is 0 because it is given that A is singular. So we convert this matrix into determinant and then expand. Right? We know how to expand this into this. What we'll get? 20 minus 4x equals to minus 2x minus 2 equals to 0. That means 18 minus 6x equals to 0. 6x equals to 18, then x equals to 3. Right, children? Note down, please. Children, the next sum states that for what value of k this matrix has no inverse. Let's see the solution. We say that any matrix K A has no inverse only when the determinant of that matrix is 0. We assume that the determinant of this matrix is 0. When the determinant becomes 0, the value of this determinant is 10 minus 3k. Okay, transfer 3k that side, cross multiply, we get the value of k equals to 10 by 3. Okay, children? See another sum, children. It says that without computing adjoint A, find determinant of adjoint A if a matrix A is given as this. Now we know, children, that we have studied this theorem that this is a 3 by 3 order matrix, third order matrix, square matrix of order 3. That means determinant of adjoint A is determinant of A to the power 3 minus 1. For n order matrix it was n minus 1. Here we have third order matrix, so it will be 3 minus 1, and it will be 3 minus 1 is 2. So determinant of adjoint A will be determinant of A square. Now if you find the value of the determinant of this matrix, what will get when you expand this with row 1, what you will get? Minus 2, 12 minus 0, it will be minus 24, right, children? So the determinant of adjoint A equals to determinant of A square, that means minus 24 square, and the square of 24 is 576. So the value of determinant of adjoint A is 576. Please note down.